There were a number of different referral services that were presented to me when I first started practice. Hung the shingle right out of law school, so there were a lot of unknowns. I never worked for another attorney, had some internships and externships whenever I was in law school, and had a good understanding of what I wanted to do and how I wanted to build my practice, but I didn't really know how to get there. One of the hardest points to overcome the learning curve was new client acquisition. And Legal Match was a very good help with that. You read reviews about different referral services and they're really hit or miss. I feel like a lot of times you get out of it what you put into it. And I feel like by really working through the leads from Legal Match and staying on top of it and making those personal relationships by getting them on the phone, not just sending emails and things like that, I was able to build my practice up to a level of sustainability, whereas it may have taken me much longer otherwise. I would say that as of right now, like I said, I've been practicing for about 3.5 years. I started with Legal Match probably 6 months into my practice. So I've been with them. I actually signed a new contract last year and extended it for another 3 years. I would say that if it weren't for Legal Match, I don't know where I would be exactly. I can honestly say that the largest source of my clients do come from Legal Match. Well, one of the things that Legal Match offers is that they're entirely an online-based source. So the legal needs of the community never stopped. Legal Match provided an outlet for those people to reach out online rather than in person when different stores and law firms and may have shut down or gone virtual. The needs of the community never stopped. And this was an outlet that still put us in touch with those who needed us most. And we were able to continue working through the pandemic. I like the intake information that they ask of the potential clients. It covers a broad array of things. It allows you to kind of get your first impression. It allows them to check out your firm, check out your reviews, and see what others think about you from that service. But it also allows you to gather some information that you wouldn't have otherwise. They're not all winners. There's some cases where you can look at and immediately know, hey, this is probably not something I can help with, or hey, this is out of my area of expertise, or this is not actually a legal issue that I believe any attorney could help with. And it gives you the ability to kind of sift through those before you try to reach out and you try to schedule a time. And I think it saves time and makes the process a little more efficient. The support team have been very helpful. Whenever I first started with the onboarding process, they helped me generate some template. Most of those templates I still use today. There's a handful that are pretty much the ones that I always send out, but they've always been available. I haven't really had very many issues with Legal Match, but if I have, I do have people reach out periodically, whether I have issues or not, just to ask if I'm happy with the service and if I have any questions or if I have any feedback. And so I feel like the people genuinely care and they're ready and available to help if you need. It really comes in spurts. Of course, that's going to be with any referral service. There may be some days that I get none, and there may be some days that I get 6 or 8. It's very rarely that I come in to the office on a Monday and haven't gotten any over the weekend. We cover the general practice section, and we feel like that covered the broadest area at the best price point for us. I do believe that there are other areas of practice that Legal Match breaks it down into that could be beneficial, but for us in our practice areas, I feel like the general practice was the best. Sometimes there's no shortage of people that have issues. We can't help everybody. Some of these aren't legal issues. Some of these are issues that they may need to just help counsel through or work through a non-legal means. But I would say for every 10 clients that fill out lead sheet that come through as a potential client, we may set consultations with 4. And of those, I would say at least 2 hire us. I would say that once we get face-to-face, our closing rate, our hiring rate from the client pool is substantially higher. I would say it's greater than not. I feel like that is up to the firm. It's not very difficult for people to plug in their information on the other side and discuss the issues that they have. And these are people in their time of need. They're looking for help, looking for advice. I feel like the things that we do in our practice is that I try to give everyone a call. I feel like if you can get them on the phone and then you can schedule a time that is workable for both sides, that the face-to-face interaction is really what helps close the deal. Some people are just looking for a phone call, and again, you can kind of weed those out pretty quickly to the ones who aren't interested in hiring or who are just fishing for some legal answers, but again, have no either no real legal need or no intentions of hiring. But I feel like, again, if we can get them on the phone and get them into the office, then our hiring rate is substantially higher. If you just shoot out emails, you get a much lower response rate. If you're just starting out with Legal Match, I would say tailor your templates to make sure that they cover kind of a broad array. You don't want to be too specific, but you don't want to be too broad. You want it to be warm and inviting. I mean, there's a lot of people who do the job that we do. I can honestly say that there's probably a measurable percentage that hire us because of us. Our personalities, our relatability, our communication skills kind of set us apart. And I feel like if people take a more personable approach, if they treat the clients the way that they want to be treated if they were in the client's position, then they'll have a much higher success rate. At this point, I would recommend Legal Match. I would say that Legal Match is probably still the largest source of our clients that come in. And I would say that since it's no cost, that's another benefit for the attorney. Since it's no cost for the client to plug in their information to get to us, and then we have the ability to kind of sift through and see what we can do, who we can help, and what all work we can do and practice areas we cover. I believe that it is a good buffer, that we have a decent amount of influx. I mean, again, it could be 50, 60 cases a month pretty solidly, and we only cover the surrounding 3 counties. I feel like, again, you get what you put into it. So make an effort to call these people, make sure that you are personable with them, and it will pay dividends on the back end.